Hi, I'm Norm Seabrook, former president of the New York City Correction Officers Benevolent Association and former inmate in federal custody for something that I continue to maintain my innocence on. But I'm here to talk to you today about, people have been asking about the situation with Sean Combs. I can only tell you from the perspective of me being a New York City Correction Officer and being a union president for Rikers Island and for city jails. So I can tell you that you probably seen and or read something to the effect of there was a massive search done in the facility in which Combs and 6ix9ine is housed in. And let me explain to you why that is important first and foremost. It's important for the safety and security of every single officer, civilian, and inmate that's in the system. What you don't want to have is a situation that occurred when, as a correction officer in the George R. Vernal Center, where a correction officer brought a gun into the facility and the gun was fired and a correction officer was hit in the foot, in the leg by this gun, this Derringer that was brought into the facility. So them doing a search is not to penalize anyone. It's to ensure that everything that's in there is supposed to be there and nothing else is there that's not supposed to be there. You see videos of them saying that, oh, Puffy's talking from jail on the phone. No, he's not. Trust me, he's not. He has 24-hour surveillance. He's watched all the time. He has a watch sheet on him probably all the time. And, you know, it's difficult to say because I'm not there. But I kind of think that him and 6ix9ine are separated from each other to avoid communication where 6ix9ine gets out and then picks up the phone and makes the notifications that are requested by Mr. Combs. I don't know that to be a fact, but as a security person, I would certainly, look at that as a possibility. What you also have to take a look at is the fact that he's receiving what it is that he's supposed to be receiving. And they're making sure of that, because what they don't want to do, no one wants to do, is have a person die in their custody, whether it be a correction officer that's working a housing area that an inmate hangs him or herself in their cell and they didn't do the proper inspections of the area to ensure that they were breathing and alive during that time. And I think that those things are important, because what you don't want to do, like I said, is have a death on your hands, because then you have a lot of questions to answer at that point. Were you doing your job? Were you not doing your job? And I think at the end of the day, it's a little bit uncomfortable for Mr. Combs and others for that matter, but sometimes, you have to understand, you have to make the best of the situation that you're in. I pray that the brother finds some type of relationship with himself, that he could come to terms and to grips as to what he's facing, because he's facing a lot of stuff here. And I'm not passing judgment on it. Like I said before, I can only talk about the video that I saw. The video that I saw was horrific. Beating on this girl, no one should have to go through that. And I certainly have sympathy for her. I don't care what you tell me. A man, as a father, don't tell me about my daughter. I don't care what relationships y'all have when y'all are in the bed together. I don't want to know. But you are not going to put your hands on my child or kick her while she's laying on the ground and expect me to say it's okay because it's cool. It ain't cool, brother. We need to get up and tighten up. I have my podcast. I have my platform. You could get on it and check it out. You could subscribe. It's called Get Up and Tighten Up, because it's time for us to do what it is that we're supposed to do. We cannot continue to make excuses. There are no more excuses for beating our children. There are no more excuses for shooting and killing our children. There are no more excuses for killing and shooting our adults or our seniors. There's no more excuses for that. We need to change the narrative. We need to figure out a way to be able to come together and do what it is that we're supposed to do. Mr. Combs is going through something right now. Listen, God bless you, man. Whatever it is he's got to go through, he's got to handle that. At the end of the day, he knew what he was doing. He's got to handle that. But more so, what's more important here very, very important, is no one wants to read that for some reason Sean Combs didn't wake up one morning. No, they're monitoring every single possible thing you could think of. They're watching all the food that he gets. He's not getting any Kentucky Fried Chicken or whatever, Popeye's burger. He's not getting that. And if he is getting that, somebody's bringing that to him. And whoever's bringing that to him, let's understand one thing, is jeopardizing the safety and security of every single person there, because that's unacceptable. You cannot go around and expect to be down. It doesn't work like that. I know you're probably saying, oh, well, he's a celebrity. He could buy whatever he wants. Not in there, you can't, because he's not going nowhere. He's not out there in a camp somewhere. He's not someplace where he has accessibility to all of these different things you're talking about or thinking about. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work to the fact of saying, well, you know what? They searched the jail. They said that they found a couple of weapons. They found some cell phones, or whatever the case may be. Fine. You cleaned it out. You got it done. So there should be no reason to have any more cell phones in the jail. There should be no reasons to have any more knives or weapons in the jail. Like I said to you, I witnessed correction officer bring in a firearm. I witnessed this officer get arrested at roll call for promoting prison contraband and bringing in that firearm that could have killed that other officer, could have killed another inmate. That is just not acceptable. No parent wants to bury their child. No parent wants to do that. And at the end of the day, doesn't matter what he did. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm saying a parent doesn't want to bury their child. You know, when a mother, or I should say when a wife loses her husband, she is a widower. When a husband loses his wife, he is a widower. When a mother loses her child, those are called dreams. You want your child to be successful. You want your child to be able to become a productive member of society. But in having them become a productive member of society, you can't treat them, because they're incarcerated, like animals. Because if you cage an animal long enough, sooner or later, when that animal gets out, that animal is still an animal. And it's a bigger, stronger animal, because at the end of the day, you have denied this animal that you think that this person is the opportunity to rehabilitate themselves. You have to give them the right to speak to their children. You have to give them the right to build a relationship with their family. You can't build a relationship if you can't communicate with your family. You can't allow yourself to be subjected to that. You have to give them something to look forward to. If you don't give them anything to look forward to, then what's about to happen? You're headed for self-destruction. Oh, you know and I know that the streets are crazy these days. They're talking about, oh, you're not down with me, you're not down with this gang, or you're not down with that gang. It's not about that anymore. We're headed for self-destruction. We're killing each other. That's all we're doing. Everybody's sitting back watching us kill each other and think that it's cool. It's not cool. You got everything going wrong right now. Our children, it's just unacceptable. We have to do better than that. Excuse me. We have to step up our game. We have to get up and tighten up. We have to make our voices heard. Finding the keys to rehabilitation is important. And you could put some of the best minds in the same room together, and they're still going to tell you that if you don't give them some type of communication, they're going to go nuts. They're going to go crazy. You're keeping them locked in, chained down, locked down. No, that's not the way it's supposed to work. And we have to do better than that. And we can do better than that. We can do better than that when we allow ourselves to take a look in the mirror and say, do we want to be treated like that? Yeah, Mr. Combs is going through something right now. 6ix9ine is going through something right now. But at the end of the day, this too shall pass. But you just got to figure out what you're going to do going forward. You got to go forward. You have to be able to allow yourself to understand what you're going through and how to deal with it. You can't allow this to control, and your anxiety is all out of control. Your emotions are all out of control. It's not going to work. You have to take a moment, sit back and figure this out. His family is suffering too. His children should not have to suffer at going to see their father like that, and sometimes they get to the front door and they tell him you can't visit him today. That's not acceptable. We have to be able to give people the opportunity to continue to communicate with each other. That is the only way we're going to be able to overcome the situations that we face today in the criminal justice system. The criminal justice system is flawed in certain ways. There's no question about it. You get officers that think that they're Superman. Meanwhile, they wouldn't light a match in a blackout. They wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit factory. But you are a superhero. But that's why when you go to the supermarket, you're looking around you to see who did you stomp out that you didn't even know you stomped out. Stop doing that. Pay attention to what it is that you're supposed to do. Give them what they're supposed to have and expect respect from them just because that's the way it's supposed to be. It's give and take. And if they don't respect you, you move on. You don't have to take it, I'll come back later and see you. No. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. They will ask you for toilet paper. They will ask you to use the shower. They will ask you to use the phone. They will ask you, can I watch TV? You already have control. Why are you trying to be so dominant sometimes, some of us, that we think that we own things? No, we don't own nothing. When you leave here, you're not taking anything with you. When God takes you out, you're going naked. Now, they're going to put clothes on you for the funeral. God bless you. But for the most part, you're going to be naked. You're going to have nothing. No money, no house, no car, no jewelry, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, Mr. Combs, very successful man. Very, very successful man. But at the end of the day, they're not going to let nothing happen to him. So yeah, people are going to talk about he can't talk about this and people can't talk about that. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not getting involved in that. But I do know that we can do better. That I do know. I do know that we can learn to communicate better. We can't allow our children not to be subjected to, is daddy going to call? Is mommy going to call? And then you're not allowed to call. And then the kid becomes frustrated. And then the kid turns around and says, mommy don't love me or daddy don't love me. And then the wife or the husband has got stress going on because they have to work all day long, come home, pick the kids up from school, cook dinner, do what it is that they're supposed to do. When are we going to do what it is that we're supposed to do? That's my question. When are we going to do it? At the end of the day, we keep talking about it, but we're not doing nothing about it. That's unacceptable. We have to do better. We have to learn to respect each other. If you don't respect someone else, you're not respecting yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's simple. Look in the mirror and decide who it is that you want to be. Do you want to be like the person on TV? That's just it. It's a TV show. It's not real. It doesn't work like that. Get up, tighten up. Do what it is that we're supposed to do. You could follow me on my platform. I'm Norm Seabrook. Get up and tighten up. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you look into it. Give me a click.